And I've also noticed in other times that we've had these meetings, when I've said, this is what I want, that's what they say. Well, this is what I want. So, dads, especially, you are the leader. By your example, talk about what we need. Because you can't deny my need. You can deny what I want, but you can't deny my need. My need is for you to listen quicker. My need for you is to obey. My need for you is to help run the house. My need for you is to stop calling me names. You know, whatever. Stop trying to smother me with my pillow at night. Whatever it is. It's only happened twice this month. We all have needs. Express your needs. When our needs are met, there's much less chance of companionships and things that get in the way. Much less chance. So be careful. Meet your spouse's needs. Counselors call it this, the path of disaffection. Everyday pressures all of a sudden get in the way, and the next thing you know, we're not being affectionate with each other anymore. With our words, with our time, with our touch, with our listening. It's the path of disaffection. It has 5 parts to it, okay? And this will absolutely put a chokehold on your marriage. I'm telling you, this will choke the life out of your marriage. You won't die all at once, but you'll die over time. Here's how it works. One of the things that's interesting about the path of disaffection is it's subtle. Okay, and I realize you can't see the chart, so I'm going to blow up the boxes so you see it. Those of you that have the book, this is all in chapter 3. The first step is this. What begins to happen is we got all this stuff on our plate. We become very busy people. I don't know if you know this or not, but being busy is not one of the spiritual gifts. It's not a fruit of the Spirit. Okay? Being busy is not good or bad, but being too busy is bad. Because next thing you know, we're not paying attention to the things that need to be done. This chart refers to the 4 horses, and the 4 horses are the 4 parts in this cycle. For you and I, the path of disaffection, it's hard to say when it starts, but it's not hard to say when the last straw is. We've all been there. That's it. I've had it. Your mom ever do this? I've had it up to here, right? It's like, Mom, why do you hit yourself, okay? Mom, you should be taller because I need more room, okay? The point is that we all know when it's the last straw, but it's hard to tell sometimes when it starts because it's real subtle. It's like you wake up one day, and the old saying is, your ship's passing in the night. You don't mean for it to happen, but it happens. Okay? So pay attention. When you have to talk about things, the Bible doesn't say you can't be angry. What? The Bible doesn't say you can't be angry. What it says is, don't sin in your anger. Well, how do I do that? Well, when it becomes personal, that's when we cross the line. When it's no longer, this is how I feel, this is what I need, well, now it's about you. Now we've crossed the line. Okay, that's when it becomes sin. And notice what it says. Don't go to bed angry. Get it taken care of. The sooner we take care of these things, the better. Because if not, they fester. And they continue to grow and they get worse. Disaffection is distancing. That's the easiest way I can express it to you. All of a sudden, people start to drift apart. Why? Because I'm not safe here anymore. And if I'm not safe here anymore, I'm not going to be close to you. I'm going to guard myself. So it's easier, if you've hurt me, it's easier for me just to stay away. Because I don't want to irritate you and I don't want to be hurt again. So leave me alone. So that's the first step. Disaffection. The path of disaffection. I will tell you, busy calendars, too busy of calendars, even doing good things, if it gets between you and your partner, you and your spouse, you and your friends, you've taken that first step. Just watch that. Just watch it. The second part of it is this. The second part of the cycle is what we call raising the bar. It's when I expect you to do something, but I don't tell you. In other words, you should have done this. Huh? What? Well, you should have done this for me. You should have said this. You should have brought me this. You should have bought me this. We should have done this. And there's an old saying, you should never should on somebody. It's not right. You can't tell me what I should do. You could say could. Or if I were you, I would have. But it's not fair to express things that are expectations of people. You can't expect me to jump 4 feet off the ground if last time we talked about it was 2 feet. That's not fair. Because I can't jump 4 feet for one thing. And I would have told you that. But as couples spend time together, obviously we're not going to see eye to eye. My wife and I were having a conversation earlier today about setting up tables for the new to friends lunch. She kept saying, are we going to put them this way? And I said, well, I don't know. What do you mean? I said, are we going to put them this way? She goes, well, what is this way? Is that perpendicular to the wall or to the stage? I said, no, this is perpendicular to the stage. This is perpendicular to, no, this is, and we're talking about something that's simple. We just see it completely differently. Okay? The point I'm trying to make is that if I wanted to, or if she wanted to, we could make a war out of that. Well, you're the stupid one. Why can't you see perpendicular means this? Because I'm not as stupid as you. Everybody knows perpendicular means. It can go there. Why? Because we have criticisms. Criticisms are just opinions. Now, when something's right or wrong, which is what we argue about the most, because I'm usually... Thank you. I think the dance instructor said it best. Men are always left because women are always right. It's okay to have an observation, but criticism, when it comes toward the other person, it becomes one-upmanship. Yes, sir?
Do we still get the free lunch, or did you ruin it for us?
No, it's still not. It's now $8. It becomes a contest. One-upmanship. One-upmanship. That's what criticism is. I'm smarter than you. I'm not as stupid as you. That would make me smarter than you. It is just a cycle that never quits. The third part is this. It's when you and I start to feel discouraged. We start to feel anger. And then even at some point we begin to feel guilt. At this point it's what's called contempt. Contempt is different than criticism. Because contempt is intentionally trying to knock your spouse out. It's the jugular. It's the win. And you guys all know what I'm talking about because you've done it, and so have I. I know that when we get to a certain point in our conversations, that if I want to win, dude, I know what to do. After 26 years, I am smart enough to not know what perpendicular means, but I am smart enough to know how to win. And it's not anymore about compromise. And it's not even anymore about being a family. It's about me winning at that point. That is contempt. An intentional knockout punch. Even if it's out of bounds. Because it's about winning. And contempt wounds people to the point where sometimes they never, ever recover. The next part for us is when we start looking at everything and everything's bad. It's always raining, it's always gloomy, everything really stinks. My life's no good, my marriage is no good, and everything we see through this haze of negativity. My spouse doesn't do that, my kids don't do this, you know. And everybody looking at your family looks at you and go, they're the model family. My neighbor came over, we were talking with her one day, and she goes, I want you guys to know that when I look across the street, you are the family that I want to be. And I said, what? She goes, yeah, you got a couple kids, you got a little dog, you got a cat, you guys just seem to be so happy. And I looked at her and I said, we are normally dysfunctional like everybody else. And I said, we're no different than anybody else. But that's what she sees. Okay? And all of a sudden you get one person over here and this person over here, and they both see the relationship's bad, and what happens? They run into each other at work, or they run into each other somewhere, and they start commiserating, and the next thing you know, what do you got? You got a partner. That's when it gets really, really dangerous. Because we start becoming defensive. I got my territory. This is the dog that peed in my yard, and now I'm mad. Okay? And now I'm guarding my position. I'm no longer interested in compromise. Now it's all about me defending. And once you get to this point, there ain't much left. Because at this point, all you're concerned about is preserving yourself. Everything that you used to like about your spouse now becomes things you don't like. Oh, I love the way she's spontaneous and she can just drop everything and go do this. And then 20 years later, she's the most unorganized person I've ever met. Well, yeah, you married a sanguine. She's going to be a sanguine until she dies. Okay? It's just life. So all of a sudden, all these things that attracted you to each other, I love the way that he can make quick decisions, and he's usually right. 20 years later, it's the dude thinks he's right all the time. I just